Perfume for people who don't like perfume. Does that describe you? It doesn't describe me because I like my fragrances big and loud, but there are many messages that I get from people that are looking for stuff that's faint, that doesn't scream, loud, skin scents, molecular fragrances. Well, basically perfumes for people who don't like perfumes. I've got a great list of fragrances here that are very highly recommended by me. And if you want to discover these fragrances that are more like skin scents, molecular fragrances, fragrances that are not loud, meant to be worn, personal, then stick around and you'll find out what they are. Thanks so much for tuning in. It's Sebastian. I'm talking about perfumes for people who don't like perfumes. Again, that doesn't describe me, but there are times I like these kind of fragrances. Might be tired of wearing something and I want something a bit more personal. There are faint smells out there that I enjoy once in a while, but the majority of the time I like my fragrances big and loud, but there's many of you that don't, unfortunately. But anyway, I've got some great fragrances here. If you are one of those people that message me asking me to do a video on this topic, let me know. Put a comment down below. And also let me know why is it that you don't like perfume. Put a comment down below. And then if you are one that enjoys your fragrances, wearing them and wearing them loudly, do let me know that as well, because there's many of you out there just like me. So let's get started with the list. If you're somebody that doesn't like perfumes, I highly recommend you check out the collection of fragrances from the house of Eccentric Molecules, especially the fragrances Molecule 1, Molecule 2, and Molecule 4. Molecule 1 is ISOE Super, basically one molecule, an ingredient that's used quite a bit in perfumes. It smells of cedar with a little bit of a creamy sandalwood thrown in. So it's very woody and musky. It's personal. You might not smell it at first. You might be anosmic to it. Keep trying. Eventually the smell comes out, but it's a very faint smell. It's got a cult following. It's, again, one molecule, smells of woods, and it's musky, and it's perfect for somebody who doesn't like perfume. On the other hand, we've got Amrboxan in Molecule 2 from the same house. This is even more faint to smell. Basically, it comes alive with some perspiration and body heat. And before that, it's pretty nondescript smell. But Amrboxan is supposed to smell like musk, amber, woods. It's the alternative for the note of ambergris, which is really, really expensive. For me, ambergris and Amrboxan do not smell the same. They might act similar to the experience. It's ambery, musky, and it's woody here. And then a third one I recommend is Molecule 4. This is basically Javanol. It's one molecule once again. And Javanol is a note, a synthetic note molecule that smells like sandalwood. Sandalwood is very expensive. Here we have a synthetic form of it. Once again, you might be anosmic to this, but eventually the smell will come through. And I feel like it's a bit loud, but I'm recommending it here because it's very molecular and it's a personal smell. But it has that kind of creamy, woody, sandalwoody smell that I quite enjoy in sandalwood fragrances. And they've captured it perfectly here in this fragrance. Again, it's simplistic, easy to wear for people that don't like perfumes or don't wear perfumes. But moving on to the house of Juliette Has a Gun, we've got Not a Perfume, as it states the name, and Not a Perfume Superdose. So Not a Perfume is exactly that. It's perfume for people who don't like perfume. Does it have a smell? Can you smell it? Basically, the ingredient or note in this is one molecule called Cetalox, which is basically a cousin of Amrboxan, which was featured in Molecule 2. They have similar smell. So in the end, it's not a perfume, and it doesn't act like anything except for when your body perspires a little bit. You might get some projection of some kind of a smell, but you might be anosmic to this. You might not even smell it at all. Very faint, if anything. Some people say it smells like alcohol. That you might get that. But give it a try it. And again, it's for people that don't like perfume. It's molecular, it's personal, it's a skin scent. There's a smell there, but it's not loud, like you're not wearing followed by the house of kerosene. Now, if you want something like a more potent version of Not a Perfume Superdose. It's an intensified version of Not a Perfume, so they've used a lot more Cetalox in this. So it's super intense. You can actually smell this, It doesn't smell like anything but a smell of the ingredient itself. So it might be loud for you. Try it. Compare the two together. I prefer this. It's louder. This one really does have an Amrboxan-like smell. And if you like that idea, this is something you could try. Again, it's much stronger than the original. Compare them and see. You might go for this because it smells basically like amber, woods, musk, maybe a little bit of aquatic things thrown in. But it's molecular. It's basically an amplified take on Cetalox. So both of these I recommend for people that don't like perfume. Skin scents, easy to wear, but there's a little scent there, so you might have a little scent to add to your body, but not overwhelm everybody around you. So next we've got a fragrance from the house of PHLUR, and it's basically called Missing Person, with a great name. I love this name for this fragrance, and it explains what you're gonna get. It's basically very similar to the other fragrances. There's a person missing, but there's a little bit of a scent. Might be a ghost, so it's moving around. So this is a molecular fragrance, but it's very musky. It's a skin scent. It features skin musk with bergamot. There's sheer jasmine, cyclamen, neroli, orange flower, sandalwood, blonde wood, white musk. Yeah, you might pick up a little bit of those things, the citrus floral notes, some of the musky notes, the woods. But in the end, it's very, very close to the skin. And it does require some body heat and perspiration and you know, moving around to kind of like start amplifying your own. You know, once it melts with your own chemistry, you will create a musk that you'll eventually smell yourself or other people will smell on you. But in the end, it's very, very personal. It's a skin scent. It's not anything loud. It's like a perfume for people that don't like perfume pretty much. And if you like those kind of things, try this one. It's a little different than the other fragrances. It might come off a bit more complex because there's a little bit more stuff happening in there. But in the end, it's not overwhelming whatsoever. And I feel like it's the perfect kind of perfume for someone that doesn't like perfume. So that is Missing Person from the house of PHLUR. Then we've got ACCA's Muschio Bianco. Here we're getting into a little bit more of potency with the smell. In the end, it's a white musk. It's very clean. It does feature white musk as a note. It also features aldehydes. There's juniper, lemon, cardamom, and lavender. So this one's a bit more substantial, but I think it's a great, pleasant, very fresh, clean fragrance for someone that doesn't like a lot of perfume. So if it was you and you're not into the idea of perfume, you're sensitive to it, and those other ones are perfect, this one might have a bit more smell. Maybe buy some samples from somewhere and test it out to see what you think. I personally like it. It's perfectly clean, but there is a bit of a smell there. You do experience the aldehydes and the aromatics and citruses that are in here. So this is Muschio Bianco in the EDP concentration. We've got two fragrances here from the house of What We Do Is Secret. Remember, they used to be called A Lab on Fire, but their name changed because of some trademark thing, or I can't remember exactly what it was. This first one is MONOSCENT G. So this is basically utilizing one ingredient, one molecule called Galaxolide, which is used quite a bit in fragrances. In fact, this is the ingredient that's in Original Musk of Kiehl's. So if you like musky notes, but more of a personal musk, clean, very, very much a skin scent, this is one for you to try. I actually also use a lot of these fragrances, especially this, to layer with other fragrances. And this one layers perfectly with Original Musk. It intensifies it because in the end, Original Musk is made with Galaxolide. This is Galaxolide Super, basically the same ingredient. But it intensifies it and makes it last longer. But by itself, it's very sexy, very cozy, very personal. A skin scent, but with a bit of a kick there. Really wonderful. MONOSCENT G, if you haven't tried it, please do. I love that fragrance. Really, really love it. On the other hand, MONOSCENT E is sort of similar to this one, Molecule 1. Basically, it's a similar kind of ingredient, whereas Molecule 1, it's called ISOE Super. Here we have Timbersilk. It's another molecular ingredient. Basically smells of cedar. It's velvety, smooth, and a bit buttery cream. And again, it's a distant relative to ISOE Super. Similar example to Molecule 2 with Amrboxan. Juliette has done not a perfume with Cetalox. So the smells are similar, but it's a different firm that's producing it. But again, it's very much a skin scent, very woody. Cedar is the note, but it's creamy. And I think that creaminess is when I say there's a bit of a sandalwood effect happening in there as well. So cedar sandalwood effect here with MONOSCENT E. Really wonderful offering. Moving on to the house of commodity, it's paper minus. This is once again another ISOE Super experience, but this time we also have a bit of amber in it, a bit sweetened amber. Very simplistic, very clean, a skin scent pretty much. There's a trio of fragrances in this collection called Paper. There's Paper Minus, which is personal, Paper, which is expressive, and then Paper Plus, which is bold. If you're the type of person that doesn't like perfume, and you want to wear something, this is basically the one you should try. In fact, go to all of the fragrances in the white bottles. You can try all of them. They're all different fragrances, some stronger than others, but I feel like this is the best example for a person that doesn't like perfume, but also wants to wear perfume. So this is Paper Minus from the House of Commodity. And then LABO's another 13. This is a super sexy fragrance. There is a smell there for sure. I have heard from people it smells like alcohol. I think a lot of these molecular fragrances, if you're new in the fragrance hobby, you might need some time with them to start smelling them. If you think it smells like alcohol, don't give up. Come back to it a little later. Try and try and try. If it's still not working, put it away, then come back to it. Another 13 is a super sexy musky fragrance created by Nathalie Lorson. And again, it's a perfume for people who don't like perfume, featuring ambrox, musk, woodsy notes, amber, jasmine, moss, and ambrette seeds. This might be a bit more substantial, but again, it is a skin scent, but super musky and super sexy. I've smelled this on other people and it smells so amazing. I've smelled it on myself and it smells amazing. The combination is top notch. One of the best from Le Labo. Another 13. Then going to the House of DS and Durga, it's I Don't Know What. This again is a skin scent. It's a very personal fragrance. It's considered an enhancer, a fragrance enhancer or primer. I think this is a perfect fragrance to wear on its own because in the heat it comes alive. It really does. When I first experienced this fragrance, I was like, there's nothing there. I can't smell it. It's just something boring. I don't want it. Then I tried it again months later in the heat in LA at the Lucky Scent in DTLA, and I was like, damn, that smells good. I want this. I mean, it's not strong. There's some stuff there. You'll experience it, but it's not a full perfume. It's a personal fragrance. It's a skin scent, and also considered a primer enhancer, as I said. It's ambrox, furstanol, civetone, ISOE Super, vetiver acetate. In the heat, this thing comes alive and it smells fantastic, but in a molecular way. Not in like this full-on presentation, full-on big bad perfume. It's a skin scent and it smells really, really great in the heat. All year round you can wear this one, and again, it's for people that don't like perfume. So this is I Don't Know What from the House of DS and Durga. And then finally, until I get to some bonus options that are on the budget side, it's Costume National's Paper Plain, this one right here. This is a bit more complex, but it's in that style of the Eccentric Molecules fragrances, the Juliette Has a Gun, Not a Perfume fragrances, and so on. It's cotton flower, oak moss, paper, vetiver, pepper, incense, sage, musk, cypriol, and amber. It wears very light and ethereal, and this might be a bit more complex like the Muschio Bianco that I was mentioning was a bit more complex. There's a bit more stuff happening here. But just imagine taking Eccentric Molecules and just amping it up a little bit. So there's some traces of other things, some woods, some spices, and then of course the aromatics thrown in. But in the end, it acts like an Eccentric Molecules fragrance, very ethereal though, and also musky and molecular at the same time. But Paper Plain from Costume National. If you don't know it, check that out. And then we're going to get to some budget options here as well, in case you're on a budget and you want these kind of fragrances, but you'd rather spend your money on fragrances that are substantial, and you want to keep, don't spend too much money on these fragrances that don't have too much of a scent, if that makes sense. First of which is Le Monde Gourmand 000, this one right here. So this one in the end is Italian bergamot, freesia, and water lily. It doesn't come off molecular here, but what they have here is very skin scent like. It acts like a molecular fragrance. Water lily gives you a light floral watery effect. Freesia for a bit more floral effect, and of course light citruses of the Italian bergamot up top. It's very fresh. There's a little bit of a smell there, but in the end it's not like a full-on intense perfume. But I enjoy this one like a molecular fragrance that I enjoy. Then we've got Fineries I'm a Musk. Really love this stuff as well. Basically, this is Fluffy Musk, Cotton Blossom, Creamy Sandalwood. And to me, it's a skin scent. Very musky, clean. It's got a lot of powdery effect as well. Here coming from the cotton blossom or cotton flower that's in here. But it creates a really nice personal skin scent. You can also layer it with other things, but on its own, it's super sexy and clean and not too loud, if at all. So this is Fineries I'm a Musk. I think one of the best from that particular collection of fragrances because everything else seems like a clone. This next one is Tesori di Orient's Muschio Bianco. Again, kind of similar to the ACCA Muschio Bianco, but a little different. This one has a bit more substantial things happening just like the other one, but this one also has rose, so it's a bit of a more prominent notes. It's musk, freesia, aldehydes, and rose. Aldehydes giving you that kind of fizzy effect. But again, it's not super intense. It's clean. It's a white musk or white moss, but perfect fragrance to wear at a budget. It's around $10 for this 100 ml bottle. Italian brand. Last but not least, it's Cotton Blossom from Soli Notes. In the end, very musky, clean, cotton blossom or cotton-like effect with white musk and things like that in there. It wears super close to the skin, not loud, but clean and fluffy, and of course musky. But white musk is a very clean musk, and I think it's perfect for somebody that doesn't enjoy loud fragrances or substantial fragrances because it's very personal. It's a skin scent and you need a little bit of heat to activate the smell off of you. But again, when you're not moving around, it stays close to the skin. But you can smell a little something nice there, like all of the fragrances that I've mentioned today. So this is Soli Notes and it's called Cotton Blossom, and that's the last fragrance for you guys. What are your thoughts on these fragrances? Guys, I know some of you enjoy really loud fragrances, so these might not be it for you. But then again, you can also get these to enhance other fragrances to make the life of the fragrances, extend the life of the fragrances. Especially things that are made as enhancers. This is called a fragrance enhancer from the house of d'Essenter, guys. So you can use fragrances like that or every one of these here to enhance the fragrance that you want to enhance, or just wear them on their own and they smell great and clean and very close. Anyway, thanks so much for watching today's video. If you have any questions or comments, please do list below. Please like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.